Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI-Talk. Heute ein wirklich interessanter Tag. Zwei Dinge. Erstens einmal habe ich bei mir einen Clarke von der CEO von P2P Group und ich bin Aktionär. Und zweitens ist, wir haben gestern natürlich eine ziemliche Watsche bekommen von den Börsen und von daher ist es echt spannend, was momentan gerade rund um die Welt passiert. Aber wirklich spannend ist auch, was die Company da macht. Das hat mich wirklich fasziniert das letzte Mal. Und ich bin gespannt, wie weit er gekommen ist, was wir seit unserem letzten Update gemacht haben. Und wie gesagt, ich bin Aktionär und er wird uns jetzt die letzten Entwicklungen zeigen. Ed, thank you for your time. I said in my German introduction, first I have a conflict of interest. The second, we are in very interesting times. Not only on one side of the the world, some people running crazy about some crazy economic stuff, but we have also some jump in technologies, and with jump of technologies, I'm absolutely right when I talk with you as a company. Then it was really interesting when we do our first interview. What you coming up with technology was for me really, or is for me a game changer. So the last interview was 6 months ago. So what's happened in the last 6 months? How's the developments looks like?
Yeah, so we've come into the perfect storm, Joe, in a sense, because we released our product to market about a month and a half ago. Since then, we've announced an aged care customer with about 70,000 homes that are addressable by our product, where we're going to provide essentially the same as what about $5,000 to $10,000 of hardware can provide for the cost of a home Wi-Fi router. So that's a large opportunity. And as you mentioned, there's the geopolitical issues going on, and since during that time we've been working in the UK, Europe. I was on the phone to North America today about border protection and sensing technologies in drones and safe entry to buildings. So we've got a whole heap of military and policing use cases that we're actually piloting with customers. So we've got some orders from military, ISPs, and the aged care industry. So it's actually happened a lot faster than we thought it would. And so we've been essentially trying to keep up with the interest from the different sectors.
You say you have a first customer in the healthcare industry. From which region is this customer?
So this is from Australia, New Zealand region. So they've got about 70,000 homes under contract. And to put that into context, we're looking at charging between $20 and $40 per month per home. So that's a multi-million dollar contract, was kind of the first one that came to us because it solves so many of those problems. So
Is this a contract the reason why the share price is going up in middle of February like crazy? So it's going up to 25 cents. Was this one of the reasons?
I think the first commercialization period was everyone's trying to see if someone's willing to pay some money for it. I think that's always a really important first step. So that can create a lot of interest. And when they see the first orders come through, and since then, obviously, we've had additional orders in different sectors, such as military, and we've also got retail use cases coming in. But I mean, in terms of the market cap now at around 11 or 12 million Canadian, that's essentially the annual value or less of the first customer that we're addressing. So I still think we haven't really promoted the company yet. We're starting to really go out and do that over the next couple of months. Now we've got, the key milestones in place. We've got the technology stabilized. We've got customers onboarding. Now is the time to go out and tell everyone about what we're doing with validation in our back pocket to show investors.
Okay. And you say the first product, and I think in your presentation was one where going online was aged care. So that's mean more that what we talked for 6 months ago, when you go to the senior residents and you can track where people are, how the heartbeat is, if they are falling or not, and so on. Is this the first commercial product was really running or is in the market?
Yeah, exactly. So that and the military use cases, which we can't say too much about, but the aged care one is going great because, as I mentioned, you're looking at $5,000 to $10,000 of IoT hardware, the legacy specialized hardware to set up at home. So say you just have a genuine interest in your parents' well-being at home, or you've got only your mother living alone. This model that we've been working also with the internet service providers on is they can actually organize this through the home router. You can pay your monthly subscription and make sure that your mother or your father at home is okay. They haven't had a fall. They've been using the kitchen. They've had food. They've been using the bathroom. Also, that people that are paid to come and check up on them have come and visited, right? So all of those things to give you peace of mind that your loved ones at home are being taken care of. But it does two things. It obviously brings down the cost of access and profitability to the provider, but additionally, it opens up a wider market to this product because the barriers to entry are removed from the hardware perspective. So, we've been talking in places as, all the way from Europe to Cambodia, where $20, $30 a month is very affordable. And it means that someone that's at home looking after their parents can then go into the workforce and monitor remotely. So
maybe we go a little bit too far, but then we are too in the story. But for some people, they are really new to the story. What is really the product itself, so that the people can understand what is the difference between the existing technology, what the people understand, and this technology, what you provide?
yeah, so today in the market, in the IoT space, we call it IoT sensing, which is what is done in aged care. You've got specialist devices. So I think everyone's seen in corporate offices, they've got the sensors as someone in the room and it flicks on and off when someone comes in. So you save power and energy on the lights, the meeting rooms and things like this. So it's these types of hardware sensors and also radar and LiDAR fall detectors that are professionally installed in the roofs of houses, in the ceilings of houses. And so you're replacing all of those specialist hardware devices with just your home Wi-Fi router. And what we do is we use AI neural networks to read the interaction of the Wi-Fi signal in the physical world and teach it when something has interference that looks like this, it's actually a person or it's actually a fall. And so we can very quickly train new events and key activities that you want to monitor for very little cost, just out of the home Wi-Fi router, basic Wi-Fi signal technology.
So you can take only the Wi-Fi, and everybody nearly have a Wi-Fi at home, and you don't need these special sensors, but you came up to the same results, and you're going beyond. For example, for me is that you can really track also then what is maybe the heartbeat of the person and so on. If it's now sleeping or not, then you see this also from the heartbeat and so on. So especially when we come to I say I have not this right English word, but to take care about of our parents, for example, and so on. It's this really a great tool and is very cost efficient. You can save as a customer, you can save a lot of money without any other technical or the special technical devices.
Exactly. And we've got some of these more discrete events that we can tie together. So, for example, you want to make most people's parents by a certain age get out of bed pretty much every day at the same time. And so when you can monitor that, if we see that someone stayed in their bed for longer, that's probably a chance to send an SMS. Hey, Joe, probably a good idea to call your mother and just check in. It's 9 o'clock. She's normally out of bed at 7 o'clock. So it lets you do some of that more active care and pick up not just health signals and physical impact signals, but also mental health signals. So it really picks up behavior, daily movement around the house. Have they moved as much as they normally do? Is that dropping off day by day? And we can start to do predictive analytics on the movements as well. So like potential strokes, potential falls from stuttering movements and different things happening. So we can actually, the more the system is used, the more we can teach it about behavior inside the house. And where that's different, obviously with hardware, specialist hardware, you need a specific device to do every task. We don't need the specific device. We've got all of the information those devices are chasing. It's being recorded. We just have to teach it to chase for that event.
So, and this is, everybody can understand this. I think this is a logical use case for everybody. But the really interesting thing, you can do much more. As you said, you go in military, you go on and a lot of other things. So, and you said before, military, you cannot say too much, but what can you say?
Yeah, I can say a little bit. So the military are looking for a lot of things. Now, cheap is always nice, and every government say everyone's looking for the cheaper way to do things, and obviously cheaper. Us against radar and infrared technology and thermal technology, we're much cheaper, better and faster. So we can actually deploy smaller units. And so I've got actually a unit here, which is just in my hand. That's something that they can wear on their belt, drop down, that can actually do things like heart rate and breathing detection in the field. If someone goes down, they can drop it next to someone. It can actually see through walls and detect breathing if they're looking for someone, if they're trying to do, say, hostage rescue and they're trying to figure out which room to go into, they can detect people on other sides of doors. So there's a lot of safety and breach types of things where they can prepare better and both preserve the safety of the people that they're trying to rescue. And this is policing as well. There's these types of situations in, emergency services, but also safety in the field. And there's a whole lot of use cases beyond that, but detecting people in fields. So borders are a very big topic at the moment. It's very expensive with any type of camera or anything to cover large spaces, whereas Wi-Fi, we can do 3 to 5 kilometers of sensing from a single device very cheaply. So there's lots of ways that we can actually, I just jumped off a call about that matter actually. So there's a lot of really interesting things we can do to protect borders, protect soldiers in the field, protect people in danger inside buildings, fire rescue, a whole heap of use cases for safety, which are really important and actually really urgent in the current geopolitical situation.
So really, you can track 2, 3 kilometers or miles with one Wi-Fi signal. Wow.
Yeah, so Wi-Fi obviously is depending on the power of the antenna, but you can actually really amplify it a lot. We've got talks about putting it up in drones or on telegraph poles and things like that. So the cost is so cheap compared to very, industry specific and expensive radar technology. So you can afford to mass deploy it because everyone knows how much a home Wi-Fi system is. It doesn't increase much more in terms of cost than what you're paying for a router at an electronics store. So we can actually mass deploy it and get a lot of information very intelligently.
So when you look in general, what is your really market where you think there is the most power at the moment, most where really the most action is at the moment?
Yeah, so we have a real strong focus, and that's in our presentation in terms of where we're approaching, but our real strong focus on home security and aged care, because essentially home security is just, aged care is I want to know what's happening inside the house and who's doing it. Home security is tell me if anyone comes into the house that's not supposed to be there, like a home security camera system. So in that sense, we're working with the telecoms and the internet service providers to offer that on top of the modem, where it's just an add-on, say $10 a month extra, and you can turn your home internet subscription into a home security system, which will then sense when you set it and go to bed, it'll sense who comes into your house, set off alarms. We can capture some really interesting information about who it was, and then alert the authorities and whoever else. So aged care and home security are in huge demand for different reasons, but aging population, there is crime increasing in cities and things like this. So it's a very in-demand piece, and it can be provided en masse by internet service providers who are looking for a way to monetize their internet subscriptions, and they've never been able to charge anything extra for the router that they give you essentially for free to deliver the internet. So it's a really strong value proposition for them. The second one, we haven't focused there, but essentially the military and emergency service industry has come to us because of the applications, and we're trying to keep up with demand there. So it's kind of one outbound channel, and then the inbound channel is going really strong as well.
I see now the capital structure of the company, and your market cap is really low, only around 11 million or 12 million Canadian dollar. And the insiders or inner circle of and the founders of the company, the portion in the company are really huge. So the free float is really small. What I like, I must say. So, but you say you have now the product into a market. What we can expect on revenue side this year or next year and so on?
Well, I think the first exciting thing for everyone is we're very close to profitability, even though we're just starting. So $50,000-$60,000 a month Canadian gets us to a profitable position or break-even position. So that's really important because then it takes a bit of pressure off the kind of revenue growth if you're not having to take in more capital to do it. And so for investors, that's if you look at the upside of this business compared to the cost of development and cost of running the business, it's not what you traditionally see in a high-tech business, where especially in this space where it's usually a lot of hardware spend and a lot of technology spend. So we've done this really lean, and that's why the cap structure is so tight. So a lot of it was done bootstrapped early days by myself and the CTO, who's world class, before we actually did the deal with the shell and vended it in, and now we've been able to fund it, with a small amount of money. So I think the next phase is that revenue growth, I think, is going to be quite fast and large because we're not building end products. We're embedding into the types of customers that already have 70,000 customers, and we're giving them, a better mousetrap. It's just easier for them to deliver what we have versus going and trying to get an electrician and 10 specialist devices installed. And I'm not sure what Germany's like at the moment, but trying to get an electrician for a $300 job is not easy anywhere in the world. So it takes a lot of pressure on expansion of our customers, which is a real breath of fresh air for them.
So, but what do you really expect on the revenue side? Do you break even end of the year?
It could happen any time, to be honest. Like some of the things we're working on, it could happen very quickly, with one deal. So that's the really exciting thing. It's not far away. Obviously, I caution on giving any forward-looking statements from a revenue perspective, but it's not far away given that these deals we're talking about, some of these have potential annual value higher than our current market cap. So, we can move very quickly into that space.
But really, your market cap is so low that is it not possible that some of your competitors come and take you over?
Well, I think it gets back to the exciting thing that I think we have, and that's that we have all the shares, right? So the 70% of the business is held by the inner circle. So myself, a couple of the directors who've been investing for a couple of years into the business, and I think it'll be very difficult to do any type of hostile takeover because it'd be very hard to get anywhere near even probably 10 or 15%, and that would move the market cap incredibly high. I think you saw recently when we announced our first revenue, the types of stock price swings that happened with people trying to get into the company. And I think that's a kind of highlight of things to come in terms of how difficult it is to build positions on market. It is very tightly held, and we've got a very strong supportive group. So I don't see hostile takeovers happening anytime soon. I think the board is very clear on what the potential value of the business is. And I've built a company, my previous company, I founded it and I got it to about 350, 400 million market cap and ASX All Ords in 3 or 4 years. I think this is a bigger potential company, and I wouldn't have started it if I didn't. But the more I'm seeing it, the more confident I'm getting that I can this business can become much larger than my previous one.
Yeah, understandable. The potential, I think, is really, really unbelievable. As an investor, for which news I should look in the future, what is really the key driver?
I'm a validation investor. So what I'm really looking for when I invest in things, and I think the same applies here, is looking that initial deals become bigger deals, and that means that the product works. If this product works, I think we all agree that the types of value of market caps I said I think we can improve on. I think that's easily reachable if we can show the market that it's working well. And we're very confident in the technology, and we believe that some of that kind of additional validation is coming down the pipeline. So it's always, if this technology works, it transforms the IoT industry from $500-600 billion for home security and aged care. That hardware component of that value disappears overnight, and it can all be done out of a router, and then suddenly it's pure subscriptions, and we're operating at 95% profitability. So it's a game changer for people trying to innovate in physical world sensing technologies.
It's then more software like as a service business.
Exactly. None of us want to buy hardware. I think that's the key thing. It sits on the balance sheet, it depreciates. You need a lot of capital to build scale. So it's a very difficult business, and no one really likes doing it or investing in it. And we've transformed that now with what we're doing. So
you do a small raise in the past 2 weeks. So is the money enough for the next 12 months or something, then you say you're really looking, or you have a low.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So based on our current run rate, it's actually enough without revenue for the next 12 months.
Yeah.
So that's how valuable it is to us. So some of it, a small amount we'll be using for things like we're going through the rebranding process, which we announced. So we'll change our code, which is PPB now, to Your AI on the CSE, and our company will be named Inturai. So the P2P group brand will disappear. It'll be a fully Inturai branded operation, classified for all sorts of technology. So it makes it much easier for the retail investor to understand what we're doing. And then obviously the marketing to go and get around Europe and North America and an OTC listing so that we can share to a wider audience what we're doing. This is hugely relevant to all the NATO countries. And we'll be doing some marketing to update both funds and retail investors in terms of the opportunity we've got here, which is obviously not found yet because you look at our current market cap and we haven't marketed. So.
No, it's very interesting. What I can also recommend for the people is that they're looking to your website, your last presentation. It's very you have a lot of information in the technology. I think it's unbelievable. It's a breakthrough. So if it's really work and can that what we expect out of it, it's unbelievable. So, and for them is a little bit not frustrating. I cannot say this is frustrating, but it looks like that your company is overlooked by the market. I must say. So
I agree. I think it's more so we haven't really pressed too hard. I'm a prove it and then market it, as opposed to a market it and then see if anything happens. So I think we're at the right place now where we've proven it, we've got the customers, and then we'll double down on the other side, build a real business and then market, as opposed to market and then try and build a business off some money. So we're in a good spot now. And if I can ask you, I can send a webinar link, which maybe you could put in this a link attached to this. So anyone that sees this that wants to come, we've got a webinar series coming up. They can ask their questions and they can come in and join the discussions and get to know myself and the company.
Perfect. Yeah, that's. I think it's really a great idea. I think our thank you for the update. I think it's really great, and I hope the product comes really out what we all expect. And I'm so far a happy shareholder. I was also part of the last private placement.
So appreciate your support. And we're very excited.
I must really say so. From the technology, it's really not too often to see the potential from a company like you. So especially when you have this knowledge also with my parents in the past, how it's really difficult to take care of them, especially when they live 20 or 30 miles away. It's really tough to see is everything fine and so on. That's can be a big push in the right direction. Beside, I must say, Europe, we are always specialized in regulation and data protection and so on. So I'm quite sure here are some things what you must take care. But this can be really helpful, especially from this healthcare industry or aging industry, to take care what the people with our parents and so on. So it's really unbelievable. So thank you for your update. Good luck. Hopefully we see new contracts coming in soon, so that we can expect that you are break even hopefully this year. And then I think you need no money, and then it's good. Then you have no dilution, and when you have no dilution, I think this is a key point to drive the share price.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to enter, and we're obviously not overexcited by the current share price, but we see a lot of upside as we market it and announce these deals that we're working on. So it's good to have you on the journey, and thanks for having me here on this discussion today.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, and all the best to Singapore. Then you're based in Singapore, and so in the heart also from the Asian industry, and I think it's easier for them also to going in these countries. I think it's easier to from the regulation side, and they understand more the potential of the technology, where the Europeans see more the regulation side and not so tech-driven, I must say.
It is the most private way to sense things, though. So it actually is improved on everything else out there in terms of cameras and devices. So there's a lot of upside for Europe in terms of how GDPR is structured. So
Absolutely,
more to come
absolutely
in that
agree.
space.
Ja, absolutely
Ja.
agree. Ja, Update vom P2P Group, wobei die bald nicht nur P2P Group heißen, sondern die heißen dann Inturai. Die haben auch jetzt eine Namensänderung. So, Sie sehen es da teilweise nebenbei laufen. Sie nehmen ein Wi-Fi-Signal und können aufgrund dieses Wi-Fi-Signals feststellen, welche Person ist da drin oder wie viele Personen sind drinnen, atmet diese Person, welchen Herzschlag hat diese Person. Und das ist natürlich speziell zum Beispiel bei der Überwachung von Seniorenresidenzen, Altersheim, Pflegeheime, sensationell. Also man kann dann teilweise feststellen, wo wer wie ist. Man sieht das hier zum Beispiel auch, welche Herzrate hat die und so weiter, bewegt sich die einzelnen Dinge. Also unglaublich, was die Technologie kann, ohne dass man massiv in Hardware investiert, sondern wir reden hier nur von einem ganz stinknormalen Wi-Fi-Signal. Und das hat mich eigentlich damals gecatcht. Und das ist eigentlich das Sensationelle dran. Und jetzt haben sie den ersten Commercial-Kunden gehabt. Dadurch ist die Aktie gleich einmal, hat sich mal verdoppelt, verdreifacht. Was auch ein Wahnsinn ist die Aktionärstruktur. Wo habe ich das jetzt schon mal? Die ist 70% ist in die Hände von den Gründern und vom inneren Circle, 30%, 31% die Free Float. Sie haben gerade jetzt eine Private Placement Nummer gemacht, glaube ich, mit 10 Cent oder 11 Cent. Die war auch Teil vom Private Placement. Ich finde die Technologie einfach ein Wahnsinn. Wenn die das umstellen, also nur ein bisschen durchsetzen können, ist das unglaublich. Und er hat ja auch dann geredet, das Ganze, er kann nicht zu viel reden, also diese Healthcare-Überwachung, das ist ja damit man feststellt, wie es den Personen geht. Dann gibt es natürlich die Home Security, das ist natürlich ganz sicher Einbruchssicherung und so weiter. Kann ein stinknormalen Wi-Fi-Signal, da können Telekom-Companies, die das Wi-Fi zu Hause installieren können, als Extra-Service anbieten. Wir überwachen gleich dein Haus, kostet $10 mehr oder 10 Euro mehr und schon hast du eine Hausüberwachung auch. Also das sind ganz andere, das ist wirklich ein Umbruch in der Industrie. Die ganze Hardware wird dadurch obsolet. Wird für die Hardwareanbieter natürlich Troubles geben, aber für die Software und für die Dienstleistungsunternehmen unglaublich. Und dann haben wir Militär. Und das hat mich ein bisschen verwundert, dass das Militär 2-3 Kilometer auch das Wi-Fi-Signal gehen kann. Überlegen Sie nur bei Grenzkontrollen. Sie brauchen dort nicht irgendwelche Drohnen, die drüber fliegen und scannen das mit Wärmebildkameras und so weiter. Nein, ein Wi-Fi-Signal, ein blöder Access Point sozusagen, reicht aus, um 2-3 Kilometer das abzudecken. Dann brauche ich dort, kann ich wahrscheinlich die Herzrate feststellen und ich kann damit feststellen, ja, dort geht ein Mensch oder nicht. Und das gebe ich dann dementsprechend weiter und kann die dementsprechend aufreißen. Also unglaubliches Potenzial. Selten so eine Company gesehen, die so ein Potenzial hat. Und das ist halt jetzt einfach, es gehört jetzt exekutiert. Und die Company kostet jetzt 11 Mille. Das ist nichts. Sie ist auch am Markt nicht wirklich bekannt, aber wenn die das umstellen können, das ist unglaublich und das Management-Team hat das Potenzial, dass ich es eben schaffen kann. Also ich bin echt begeistert und ich hoffe, Sie können das dementsprechend exekutieren. Das war ein Interview von heute, ist der 4. April 2025 und ja, viel Erfolg an der Börse und schauen Sie mal auf die Aktie, das könnte wirklich eine ganz interessante Sache sein. Ed, thank you for your time. It was really, I say it in my German outro, it's an unbelievable story. It's not really too often to see this kind of potential, this disruption technology by a system is already running in all houses or in everybody has a Wi-Fi and you can use this Wi-Fi and put additional service on it for really low cost, especially when you are a carrier like a mobile company. You can offer additional service and so on. It's unbelievable. The potential is great. It's not good for the hardware producers, I must say, but
It's really bad. It's really bad.
it's really bad for them. But
Yeah.
for the special security hardware builder and so on and so on. But for the build the routers and the Wi-Fi is not a bad thing. But for the other one, they put these special devices is really a bad news. And yeah, good luck with all the developments. Good luck with all the talks what you have with your potential customers. And yeah, I'm really excited what you're doing, and hope for the next news that there maybe is the breakthrough.
Thanks a lot, Joe, and thanks for having me on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you, and have a nice day.
See you later.
See you.